Hello, everyone. I'm Lindsay Turner with Boise State University. Thanks for joining us to learn more about Project Scales. We are part of the Healthy Meals Incentives Initiative, an investment of $100 million in the nation's food system. In the first phase of this initiative, there have been funding opportunities for rural and small districts, the implementation of recognition awards, and healthy meals summits, all coordinated by Action for Healthy Kids. The second phase of the Healthy Meals Incentives Initiative is the School Food System Transformation Challenge subgrants. Boise State is one of 4 organizations leading these projects as cooperators with USDA. Our project is called SCALES, Supporting Community Agriculture and Local Education Systems. All of these 4 cooperators have released RFAs already and have made initial awards. And some, like the Illinois Public Health Institute's Lake Michigan School Food System Innovation Hub, will be offering additional funds over the next few years. Project Scales has already funded a first cohort of grantees, and this webinar is to talk about our second and final round of funding, which is now open for applications. Today, we'll share information so you can decide whether the Project Scales grant opportunity is right for you. Our goals for today are for attendees to understand who we are, who is eligible to apply, and what we'll do together over the grant period. And then we'll cover the details about how to apply, how we'll review applications and select grantees. And last, we will answer a few questions. This is our team. Project Scales is a collaborative project led by Boise State University in partnership with Lunch Assist. I'm Lindsay Turner, and I'm a professor in the College of Education at Boise State University and director of the Center for School and Community Partnerships. I have the great privilege of overseeing Project Scales, and it combines so many things that are important to me in my work, including a focus on partnerships, supporting students in schools, and helping kids eat delicious and healthy foods. I'll be the main point of contact for our grantees and will manage all the financial aspects of this project. Michaela Lowe is a project manager at the center, and we've worked together on research projects for several years. She will be providing additional financial and administrative support on the project. Also part of the team are Professor Hannah Lane, who's at Duke, and Professor Erin Hager, who's at Johns Hopkins. They will be leading the evaluation aims of the project overall, including supporting our grantees in documenting their outcomes. And they'll be working on the parts of the project involving sharing out best practices and talking about all the exciting work that our grantees are doing. Scales is also a project done in partnership with Lunch Assist, an organization that provides technical assistance to school nutrition professionals. So I'd like to introduce you briefly to Ali Maracek, who will be working with all of our grantees on this project, and Jen McNeil, the founder of Lunch Assist. Ali has been in school nutrition for about 11 years, and 7 of those years she was a child nutrition director. She loves all things related to kitchen operations, menu planning, and school food systems. Jen McNeil is the founder of Lunch Assist, and she's also a former director who's been working in child nutrition for many years. She's especially passionate about professional development in the child nutrition world. Jen founded Lunch Assist 8 years ago, and over that time, Lunch Assist has grown to a team of 13 school food experts, including former state agency reviewers. They support more than 400 districts nationwide. We are thrilled to have them as part of the team. The Center for School and Community Partnerships is part of the College of Education at Boise State. We were founded 30 years ago and have worked with nearly every school in the state in some way or another. And our portfolio includes topics on many projects, including the one that I love the most, school nutrition. We know the important role that schools play in healthy, thriving communities, and we bring that commitment to supporting educators to our work on Scales. We are also really fortunate to have a fantastic advisory board with organizations that have expertise that will be really valuable to our grantees as we build out technical assistance and support their work. So now I'll move on to the second topic: what is Project Scales? The overall goal of the Healthy Meals Incentives Initiative is to support innovations and collaborations that improve the K-12 food system. Our specific goals for scales and identify several ways to address that overarching goal. First is improving the supply chain by incentivizing innovation. We know that there are some really cool things happening around the country and that communities are strong and collaborative and come up with some really creative and novel ways to get things done. We want to support those innovators and help you to strengthen important partnerships. And we think that there are some unique partnerships that might exist that we can help you build and support and then learn from this work. This is where we are looking to all of you to let us know what innovations you are working on in your communities. Second, we want to help make it easier for school program operators to source what they need from industry that's nearby. So we're also looking to reduce those barriers to collaboration. Third, we want the food system to provide access to nutritious foods and beverages, of course, and we also want it to be appealing to students. That part's important because school nutrition programs are a huge part of promoting nutrition security and well-being among groups that are economically disadvantaged. In our work with grantees, we'll be looking for ways to help keep students excited about school meals. Fourth, with the focus on partnerships with industry, we want to emphasize the importance of social responsibility. What we mean by that is that individuals and organizations should act in ways that benefit society as a whole. The organization has responsibility for the societal and environmental impacts of its decisions and activities through transparent and ethical behavior that supports sustainable development, health, and social welfare. And fifth, a key goal for our project is to learn about what's working well and to share those successes so that SFAs and industry partners across the country can learn from our grantees. You'll play a big role in systems change. Last year, we issued our first round of grants, and we are excited to have been able to fund 12 school food authorities. These are districts and charter schools, and they are all in rural areas. They are doing a variety of projects that focus on partnering with local producers, building out regional food systems, and increasing culturally relevant foods in tribal serving school districts. Over the next 2 years, we'll be working with these grantees in Cohort 1 and sharing results of their projects. And that brings us to where we are now with Cohort 2. So we'll move on and talk about what we are looking to fund in this round. This round, Cohort 2, will be funding big projects with multiple partners. The budgets are substantial, ranging from $500,000 to $1 million. Applicants can request less than that, but we do expect to be prioritizing the funding of large-scale projects that have the potential for substantial impact. Projects can last for less than 3 years if the work can be done more quickly, but they must be completed by June 2028. And we are requiring at least 3 partners on these projects. Here are the types of partners that must be on the project. 2 are required. First, there must be at least 1 school food program involved in a substantial and meaningful way. There could be more than 1 SFA, and there could also be a consortium or network of smaller districts if that makes sense for the work. We're leaving this flexible, but we really want to see meaningful engagement with school food program operators. We are also requiring engagement by food industry in these project teams. The RFA has detailed definitions of industry, and here are a few examples. This can be manufacturers, producers, processors, aggregators, or distributors. And there can be more than 1 industry partner. There's a requirement to have a third partner, and that can either be an organization from industry or a second SFA or another sector. Here are a few examples, but there's a lot of flexibility in how teams are built as long as it makes sense for the project. Because the school food system involves many entities, there are a lot of likely partnerships that you might already have going on or which you want to expand. This list includes some potential partners, and the last bullet point here, other agencies and businesses, is where we think there might be some unique partnerships occurring that we don't necessarily know about. We don't have requirements about who else you need to include, but in your applications, just be sure to explain how those partnerships hold promise for the food system. We are not placing limits on location or rurality of the school districts. This round of applications is open to SFAs located anywhere in the USDA's service regions. However, SFAs must participate in the National School Lunch Program. And next, I'll talk about the types of projects we'll be funding with these grants. This is a quote from the RFA, and this is a key part of writing a compelling application. We want applicants to be creative and innovative. We know that child nutrition directors and other partners in school food systems are resourceful and creative, and we want to empower that. Rather than being overly prescriptive about what we think you should do, we want you to tell us what you plan to do and why it's innovative. And this is a list of potential activities. Again, it's in the RFA, and I encourage you to read it thoroughly. These are just a few examples. Those include things like perhaps building infrastructure, establishing and revising contracts and agreements, or improving ordering and distribution systems. There are two pieces to the project: grant funding and implementation support. Scales is more than just grant funding. The implementation support is a really unique part of this project, and one of the reasons that our team is so excited about this work. We know that systems change can be challenging, and having support along the way not only increases the odds of success, but it also makes it less lonely. The resources from Lunch Assist are ideal for supporting SFA directors, and whether the SFA is the primary applicant on the project or a supporting partner, we'd like to see the SFA director be engaged in the supports that are provided by Allie at Lunch Assist. So participating in the technical assistance is a crucial part of the project and makes it unique. All the TA will be virtual, so it's easily accessible to grantees. And keep in mind that the TA from Allie and Lunch Assist is already funded, so you won't need to allocate any part of your budget for that support. We do encourage applicants to budget staff time for attending the meetings. And there are several components to the TA, including one-on-one support and group learning, developed specifically for the cohort of grantees. And your grant applications will be used to customize the TA offerings. During one-on-one support calls with Allie, you'll work through the logistics and challenges of implementing the project activities related to the school meal programs. And another valuable resource that we're able to share through this partnership with Lunch Assist is the Lunch Assist Pro Learning Portal. These are resources typically provided to Pro members, and grantees will get a free district membership for the duration of the grant. There are over 500 tools in the resource library, and training videos are in English and Spanish. And we hope that the TA offerings help grantees stay on track with projects and build a network of peers to call upon if they get stuck. We'll also be working together to discover a collection of success stories and best practices to be shared widely. Next up is how we will identify those effective innovations to share out with a wider audience. These are some metrics of success, and over the next few years, our team will provide substantial guidance to grantees on how we work together to evaluate progress. Those conversations will happen more after decisions about funding have been made. And this is a list of potential evaluation metrics. There may be others that are suitable for projects depending on what you propose. Your application doesn't need to go into a lot of detail about evaluation, as we'll work with granted projects to figure these things out as we start our work together. But this gives an idea of how we'll be thinking about measures of success. And hopefully now that we've talked about what we envision for this project, many of you watching this webinar and reading through the RFA have decided that this is a great fit for you and have decided to apply. So now we'll get into the details about how to apply. Please remember, our team is just an email away, so please don't hesitate to reach out if you'd like help in the application process. The full request for applications is available on our website, and this QR code takes you directly to that page. And this is a copy of the application template, which describes each question in the application portal. There's also a checklist at the end of this document, which describes the additional documents that you'll need. These are the 5 sections of the application where you'll prepare a response. The word limits are given here, and you'll need to be concise. You don't need to use all the words if you can answer the questions briefly. We suggest writing your responses in a Word document or Google Doc so that spell check will catch any spelling errors and grammatical errors, and then cut and paste them into the application portal. I'll describe the portal next, but for now, let's go through the sections of the application. First is the executive summary. We actually suggest that you write this last after you've written everything else, and then come back and summarize the application and the project in no more than 300 words. Then tell us about the partners on the team, both the individuals and the organizations, and then tell us about your community. This is exciting for us to get to know more about different locations across the country. And we want to know about the resources and strengths of your community, as well as areas of needs. And then the description of the project. This part's really important. Let us know what you propose to do with the funding, who will do what activities and when, and how will you know if it's creating changes. The last section is where we'd like you to tell us about the likelihood of sustaining changes after the grant ends. Although funds can be used for materials and supplies, what we're really looking forward for with this funding is to increase human capital. That is, empowering people with the knowledge and skills and partnerships to get important work done, and then to keep those positive changes in place after our time together ends. These are the additional documents needed: letters of commitment, an optional timeline, and then all of the budget documents. And now let's talk about budgeting. On our website, there are 2 documents that are relevant here. One is a worksheet where you can fill in budget amounts, and the other is an instruction document which provides information on budgeting and how to write the narrative that accompanies the worksheet and explains what each piece of funding will be used for. This is an overview of allowable costs. What can and can't you purchase with these USDA funds? All requested costs must be allowable, allocable, necessary, and reasonable in accordance with federal guidelines. And there's more details about that in the instruction. These are pretty standard budgeting categories for federal programs. And we've given some examples here of things that you might want to purchase with funding. First, we want to encourage you to allocate enough funding to personnel time so that your project director can fully engage with the implementation supports provided by Lunch Assist and work with our team on our evaluation and reporting. You can also request funding for consultants, and definitely include contracts to pay your partners for their time, travel, and other expenses. Specific to travel, we require grantees to budget for at least 1 person to attend the Healthy Meals Summit next October in Las Vegas. We suggest that multiple team members attend, so please allocate enough for this trip. And someone from the Scales team, probably me or Allie, will also come to visit you, and that will come out of our budget, not yours. Those site visits are described more in the RFA. We plan to do those at least once during the grant period, and a representative from USDA may also join us to see how your project is going. We will plan those well in advance. There are also a few costs that are not allowed. Among other things, there's no food and beverages such as lunch at trainings. Those are not allowable on this project, nor are swag and gift cards. Lobbying is not allowed, and vehicles cannot be purchased, nor can construction-related costs be funded with these projects. Please feel free to contact us if you have questions as you work on your budgets, and you're welcome to reach out to our team, and we're happy to help. Once you've gotten all your documents ready, it's time to apply through the portal. This link on our website will take you to the portal. And the first step is setting up a password-protected account. The portal defaults to English, but can be changed to Spanish by clicking the globe at the top right of the screen as shown here. Once you're logged in, create a profile. You can return to your profile to update it at any time using the edit feature. And after you've created a profile, you'll be able to get started. Click that blue box at the bottom of the page to upload your materials. You can save your work and work on it as time allows up until the deadline. After you click started, you'll get to the application, and your organizational information from your account profile will auto-populate in the first part of the application. You'll add the information about each partner here and the summary information about your project dates and amounts requested. Here is the main part of the application with the boxes where you will upload all of your text responses and you can save as you go. At the end of this application, there are boxes to upload the PDF documents, including the required budget documents, letters of commitments from all the partners combined into one file, and the optional timeline and any other letters of support. Once that's done, you click the button at the bottom to mark the application as complete. But you're not done yet, and this part is important. You'll be taken back to the homepage of the portal where you'll see this green button, and that will actually submit the application. Until you click this, it's only completed, but not submitted, and we can't accept it. Once you click submit, you'll see this success message, and you'll also get a confirmation email. Please look for that. If you want to save a copy of your application, you can click the view button on this page and then use the print function on your browser to save a copy of your full application. Now that your application is submitted, it's our turn to swing into action with the reviews. Each application will be reviewed by 3 people, including at least 1 from our team and additional external experts who we've hired to do these reviews. All the materials are confidential and we won't share them with anyone other than our review team. We'll be using the scoring system, and the rubric is also provided on our website and in the RFA. Once we've scored applications, we send recommendations to USDA, and we are aiming for decisions to be made by May of 2025. This is the timeline and key dates. Applications are due before midnight Eastern Time on Friday, December 13th. We'll notify applicants of funding decisions next May, and grants will run from July of next year for up to 3 years. And that brings us to our last section, a few questions. We have answers to a few today, and please contact us with other questions. First is a question about whether organizations can apply to multiple HMI opportunities. The answer is yes, but with some limitations. SFAs that received a recognition award from Action for Healthy Kids are eligible to participate as a partner. However, applicants are not eligible if they've received an HMI School Food System Transformation Challenge subgrant through one of the other cooperators. That would be the Chef Ann Foundation's Plants Grants, Illinois Public Health Institute's Lake Michigan School Food System Innovation Hub Grants, or Full Plates, Full Potential. Another question is whether these grants are appropriate for farm-to-school types of projects. This is an important question. We love farm-to-school, and some of the goals of project scales are aligned with farm-to-school efforts, particularly a focus on local procurement. However, we want these projects to be really systems-focused. So applications focusing on activities such as school gardens and farm tours will not score highly in the review process. Our goal really is to promote sustainable systems change on a big level and to get new industry into school meals. That could involve local partnerships, or it could be much broader. If a project is very farm-to-school focused, we encourage you to look at many of the other funding mechanisms for that work. Question 3, can we buy equipment? There is a lot more detail about this in the budget guidance, and the short answer is yes. Because this is federal funding, we are bound by all of the OMB regulations about capital equipment, and anything with a single unit value of over $10,000, that would be things like ovens and refrigerators, that could be allowed if clearly needed for this project. They can be requested in the budgets, but again, to note that these are systems transformation grants, not kitchen equipment grants. So be sure to explain how such a purchase would improve infrastructure in ways that could improve the food system, not just in one meal program, but could be scalable elsewhere. And question 4, how many partners can be on a team? We require at least 3 and suggest no more than 5, since that would be a lot to coordinate, but we are flexible about that maximum. Some projects might benefit from larger teams or from advisory boards with many members, and we encourage you to build teams that make sense for the projects proposed. Please do be sure that all partners are acknowledged and compensated for their time when preparing your budget requests. And those are just a few questions. Please send us any more by email, and we are happy to answer and schedule a meeting if needed. That is it for now. Thank you for listening, and we are excited to get to the fun part and do this work, and we look forward to hearing more about the cool work going on around the country and reviewing your applications. Thanks again.